Good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, it's nice to see you again. How is everything? Good. Good. Well, congratulations on passing the first part of the interview. We're very excited to have you. I know. What we are going to start with, just a few questions. Nothing to be nervous about. This is your psychological evaluation for employment here with us at NASA. The first thing we're going to do is, again, a short questionnaire. I'm just going to be asking you some really basic questions and just jotting down your answers. Then we're going to do an ink blot test. And again, just need you to be as honest as possible, okay? Okay. Did you have any questions? Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Well, after we pass the psychological evaluation, we'll then move you on to our physical examination portion of the interview. And then once you pass that, if you're chosen to become a part of our training program, we will notify you by telephone and we'll bring you on in here to begin training. It's a really fun process. Usually it takes about 14 days for us to get back to you. Right now, our training program begins in March, so you got it. Alrighty. Oh, and just to let you know, this interview will be recorded. Is that okay? Okay. And what is your first name? Okay. And your last name? Okay. Thank you. And your age? Okay. And your date of birth? Okay. Thank you. And where were you born? Okay. Okay. And have you lived any other places? Okay. Okay. And I do just need you to go ahead and think about how you would describe yourself in words. Just using short bullet words such as worthwhile, trustworthy, in conflict even, ambitious, honest, naive, things like that. Okay. Okay. All right, thank you. And any brothers or sisters? Okay. And how old is your sister? Okay. Okay. And any half siblings? No? Okay. And do you still have a father alive? Okay. And how old is he? Okay. And what is his occupation? Oh, okay. Great. And his health? Okay. Okay, great, thank you. And his cause of death? And his health. Okay, and how about him? Okay, and how about your mom? What is her present age? Okay, good. And her occupation? Okay, great, thank you. And yeah, your relationship with your mom? Okay. Okay. Any step-parents? Stepmom or dad? Okay. Now, when you're describing your childhood, how would you describe it? And again, yeah, and in those words, unhappy. Did you have a lot of emotional problems, family problems, alcohol abuse? Okay. Great, thank you. And how did your parents discipline you? Okay. Okay, great. And, okay, good. And as a juvenile, were you ever in a residential treatment facility? Okay, great, thank you. And did your parents divorce at all? Okay, great. And what was the last grade that you completed? Okay. Great. Thank you so much. And your highest degree awarded? Okay. Great. Thank you. And what kind of grades did you receive there? Okay. 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 Great. And were you ever held back a grade or promoted a grade? Okay. Okay, great. And ever diagnosed with a learning disability or ADHD? Okay. Okay, great. And any suspensions or detentions? Okay. Great. Okay. And have you ever been into counseling before? Or therapy in general? Okay. Good. And are you on any medication for any disorders? Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. And never hospitalized for any psychological disorders? Okay. And have you ever attempted suicide? Okay. All right. And to your knowledge, have you ever received a diagnosis for any psychological problem? Okay. Alrighty. And have you ever had any other sort of psychological evaluations? Okay. Okay. Alrighty. And do any members of your family suffer from depression or anything else that may be considered a psychological problem? Okay. Okay. And has any member of your family ever been in counseling? Okay. Okay. Alrighty. And have they been hospitalized for... Okay. Psychological. Okay. Alright. And has any relative ever attempted or committed suicide? Okay. And did you ever belong to a gang? Okay. Okay. And I know. Any arrests at all? Okay. And I do just have to ask you these itemized arrest questions. I'm assuming the answer is no, just because you've said you've had no arrests, but we do need that on record, that you haven't been arrested for domestic abuse, burglary, DUI, assault, or theft? Okay. Okay. And are you currently married? Okay. And what is your spouse's age? Okay. Alrighty. And is this your first marriage? Okay. And do you have children? Okay. And what are their ages? Okay. And what are their living arrangements? Okay. And did you or your spouse ever seek mandated therapy or counseling? Thank you. Now the next set of questions is just going to be about your use of drugs and alcohol. How old were you when you first used alcohol? Okay. Okay. And at the height of your usage, how old were you? And how much were you using? Okay. Okay. All right, and have you ever experienced blackouts? Okay. All right, and did you ever receive treatment for your alcohol abuse? Okay, great. Okay. And when were you last drunk? Okay. And again, any DUIs? Okay. Alrighty. And have you ever used marijuana? Okay. And at the height of your usage, how old were you and how much were you using? Okay. Okay. And when was the last usage? Okay. And any other illegal drugs used? Pot, PCP, cocaine, methamphetamines, prescription pills? Okay. LSD, PCP, crank, heroin, anything like that? Okay, good. Any family members have trouble with drugs and alcohol? Okay. And what is your current occupation? Okay. And how long have you been there? Okay. And what other types of jobs have you had in the past? Okay. Okay. All right. And what is the longest period that you've been unemployed? Okay. And longest period of employment? Okay. And how many jobs have you been fired from? Oh, okay. Alrighty. And what is your highest level of training? Okay. Alrighty. And any surgeries at all? Okay, that's good. Okay. And any serious medical conditions that we should know about? Okay. Now, is there any other information that you feel as though we didn't go over today that you'd like to express to us? Okay. Now, moving forward here, we do have our ink blot test. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold up a picture. And I'd like you to tell me a little bit about what you see in the picture. I may ask you to elaborate a little bit and just tell me a little story about why you're feeling that way. But just again, really honest and the first thing that comes to your head, okay? So this is our first picture. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay, great. And the next picture. The first thing that comes into your mind. Okay, good. And the next picture. And the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. Okay. And the next picture. Okay. And why do you think that? And can you tell me a little bit about that? Okay. Okay. And this picture. I get that a lot. Okay, thank you. And the next. This one's a little light, so we'll bring it in closer. There we go. What do you think about this one? Okay, good, thank you. A few more here. This picture right here. What do you think of this one? Just the first thing that comes into your head. Good. Okay. And how old were you when that happened? Okay. Good. Okay. And this one. This photo right here. What does this make you think of? Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about that experience and how it affected you? Okay, great. Thank you. And one more photo. Great. Good. Perfect. That was awesome. Just make a few more notes here. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to send this information back up to our team to get a look over here. And once they've looked this over, we will most likely be giving you a call for your physical exam very soon, okay? Alrighty. Well, thanks so much for coming in today.